What's up you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Mina and I make videos every Fridays, and today's video is going to be the this or that book tag. I honestly don't know who created this book tag. I will link them down below, the original video. I was just looking through some tags on YouTube last night and I found this video and I love tags, and tags are so easy to film, so I thought I would just do this. I will put the prompts also down below in case you would like to do this video or do these prompts and answer them down in the comments. There's really not much to say about a tag, so we're just gonna get started. There's 14 prompts and it's just a basically would you rather this or that, you know how it works. So let's get started. The first question is audio or book in hand. For me, this just depends on what I'm doing or where I'm at. If I'm driving, I definitely prefer listening. If I'm in the shower or if I'm doing something that requires my hands, I definitely prefer to listen to audio, but most of the time I prefer to read my books. Like if it's a book I'm super excited to read, I probably won't listen to the audiobook. I'll probably read the book, the physical book. There's just something about the experience of like holding a book and reading a book and like being able to like slam your face in it if something goes wrong or something goes really right. I've just always loved the experience of like having a book in your hand, and it's just something solid. It just feels good to me. So most of the time I prefer like hard reading like in your hands than listening. Number 2, softcover or hardcover. So I used to buy a bunch of softcover books for some reason. I don't know why. That's never been me. I don't like softcover books. Most of my books are hardcover. I love the feeling of a hardcover. I love the weight of it. I love the like experience of it. I love the dust jackets, that fact that you can take them off and keep them on, and that the fact that underneath the hardcover or like the dust jacket there's always like some pretty illustration. So yeah, I definitely prefer hardcover over softcover, but I do own some softcover books, don't get me wrong. Okay, fiction or non-fiction? Fiction, for sure. I don't even need, you know, like I experience real life. I don't want to read about real life, you know? I want to read about something that takes me out of reality and real life and all of that, but I am putting in an effort to read more nonfiction books, and I try to read at least one nonfiction book a month. So yeah. Number 4, fantasy world or real life issues. I'm in a mood where I'm reading about fantasy more than I am reading about like real world issues. That's just where I happen to be right now. I don't know if I'm going to be in this place forever or if I'm going to be in this place for much longer, but I have been in spots or like in times of my life where I've read about real life issues over fantasy. But as of right now, I'm in a fantasy mood and I just want to read fantasy. Like I can't even get into a contemporary book because I feel like everything, like how are you going to solve everything in 300 pages? That just don't add up to me. Harry Potter or Twilight? Both. I can't choose one. Like I love Twilight so much, and I'm in a mood right now where I want to reread Twilight, but I also love the Harry Potter series and I reread it every single year, and it's my whole childhood. So like Twilight is my teenage years and then Harry Potter is my childhood years, so I really can't choose. I love them both. They both shaped me as a person. They both shaped me as a reader. They both like changed my life in one way or another, as dramatic as that sounds. So I definitely cannot choose. I love them both equally in different ways. Kindle, iPad, or other. I don't own a Kindle and I don't know what other could be, so I'm just gonna go with iPad. I have read books on my iPad. I've enjoyed reading books on my iPad, and when I used to have like to actually go to class in person, I used to like not take books with me and just read on my iPad. Actually for a while there I wasn't even reading physical books, I was just reading on my iPad, but I find myself unable to really digest the whole story if I'm on my iPad, so now I'm more of a like a physical book in my hand type of thing, but definitely iPad over like Kindle and all the others. Borrow or buy? I do both, but honestly I love my library and I most of the time will get my books from the library, read them, and if I really love them and if I want to own a copy, then I would buy a copy and keep them. So most of the time probably borrow. I borrow from my library literally every month at least 10-11 books, so I love the library. I don't borrow from other people though, because I wouldn't want anyone borrowing my books, so I don't borrow nobody's books. Bookstore or online? Bookstore for sure. I love bookstores. Bookstores are the best, plus I don't trust the people shipping the books to get them here to me safely without any dents or scratches or ripping the dust jackets or any of that, so I definitely prefer bookstores. The whole experience is lovely. I love the smell of books. I love being able to go down the shelves and look through them and stuff. Definitely love the experience of going to a bookstore and walking out with like a bag of books, you know, and not having to wait for like 3 to 5 days for shipping and handling, you know? Tell me one time or total trilogy. I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing it's like a contemporary or a trilogy, or like one book versus three. It just depends on the story. Like there are some books that don't need to be in a trilogy, and then there's some books that can't be wrapped up in a one book series. So I'm not really sure how to go about this one, but I'm gonna say trilogy because I've enjoyed trilogies immensely and I've loved almost every trilogy I've read. So yeah. Monster read or short and sweet? Most of the time monster read. I like reading long books. I like looking at long books. I love holding long books, and the pride I feel once I finish a long book feels great. So for that reason, I'm probably gonna say definitely a long book, definitely over a shorter book. But also if I'm really, really busy, I'm not gonna say no to a short book, you know. And if I'm really not in the mood to read like a 600, 500 page book, then I'll probably read a short book, you know. But it's short, like 100 pages, 200 pages, 300 pages. Either way, I love long books, definitely. Starry-eyed romance or full-on action? I love romance. I love romance. I'm guilty for romance. I'm reading books to experience romance. So it's like, I love romances. I love reading angst. I love reading an enemies to lovers. I love reading everything about like how they meet. They're like, if it's a meet cute, or if it's like them like meeting in unfortunate circumstances or anything of that nature. I really, really love romance. I love reading about romance. I love the feeling I get when I read romance, and like how it makes me so shy and makes me want to hit my face against the book. I love romance books. Like, just not full-on romance, because then it just gets boring. I need a plot, and I also need romance. So curl up in your snuggie or bathe in the sun. I don't like reading outside because and like behind our house we have a pond, so if I sit outside I smell bad. So for that reason alone, I'm gonna say snuggle inside with a book than sit outside. And also it's really hot and humid right now outside, so I probably wouldn't sit outside. But if the mosquitoes were not a factor and the smell wasn't a factor and the heat wasn't a factor, then the idea of sitting outside sounds lovely, to sit outside and to read. But yeah, I'm just not that type of person. I prefer to stay inside and read my books inside in my bed, or like in the comfort of like my couch with like something in hand or another, you know. Hot chocolate or latte? I'm not really a hot chocolate drinker. I used to be. I just don't drink a lot of hot chocolate now. I definitely prefer a latte. Latte for sure. I love lattes. I love coffee. I love tea. I love like any type of latte I'm down for. So definitely latte. Can you tell that I love lattes a lot? Number 14, read the review or decide for yourself. Most of the time, I don't read reviews. I don't really like to spoil myself of what I'm reading. Most of the time, I honestly don't even read what the book's about. Like if I hear a booktuber talk about it and I like what I hear, then I probably just, you know, put it in my to read list and then I forget about it and I read it forever later. I don't really read like the synopsis. I don't really go into books a lot of the time knowing what they're even about because I put them in my to read list forever ago. So I don't really look at the like reviews or like detailed reviews. Most of the time will go back and look at the reviews later after I've given it my rating and I've read it, because I don't want to be influenced by what other people say, which has happened a couple of times. So for that reason, I just really don't read reviews unless I've finished it and I want to read people's thoughts on it that are different from my own. So most of the time I just decide for myself and I like it that way. I'm probably not gonna change the way I do things, unless it's like a star rating. Like if the book has like 2.5 stars out of all the reviews, then I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm not gonna read it, and I remove it out of my thing because I trust the popularity of that. But I don't really read like detailed people's reviews on it once I have finished and given it a rating. I just go by the star rating, or by like, if it has a good star rating, like a 4.5 or a 4 or a 3.8, then I'm probably just gonna read it and decide for myself. So on that note, that concludes the this or that book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will, like I said, put the prompts down below and the original video down below. I had a lot of fun doing this video. If you have any more tags you want me to do, or if you have any tags that you like to do and you like the questions of, let me know about them down below, because I love doing tag videos. They're just so fun to do. And let me know down below if any of my opinions differ from yours and why, because I think it would make a really interesting discussion. But But on that note, that's it. That concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. Always remember to keep your head, heels, and sanitized, and to treat people with kindness. And I'll see you guys again next week with another video. Bye, you guys.